satisfactory. I'm winning this argument.
This had to be early in your relationship, like within the
Oh
first
man,
five
we
years.
had been before kids because I don't think we had kids yet.
No,
Because it was one of those.
and if
It was one
I'm
of those
amazed,
where you're not worried about upsetting the children. Yeah, it was because we were still living in an apartment.
and I'm amazed that
Uh,
you were able
yeah, in
to
Gainesville.
then continue
Yeah.
your relationship and have kids. I mean
Well,
that's the kind of line in the sand that you draw where she's like, this isn't worth it. If
well,
this is how petty you're going to be, I'm done.
I didn't think it was petty. I just
She did.
well,
She thought it was petty.
and it's amazing. I haven't thought about this argument in a long time. It she was so mad.
Oh,
My God!
I'm
But
mad
it
right
was
now
worth it.
for her. Are you kidding me?
You know what? You know what? When it rains, she doesn't turn her flashers on.
Lesson taught. Lesson taught.
I mean, I don't know. You could say I lost. I remember because we had two Siberian Huskies, and they hid. I remember that. Yeah, I mean, once in a while, I'm a firm believer that you still have to love each other enough to argue.
My did you have this? Did you ever
Like
know
fair.
somebody?
And it was a fair fight. You know,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
one of those fair fights.
Except when you went and got
I regret.
except when you went and got the book that showed her she was wrong.
It wasn't the book, and she'll say this today. It was the way I put it in her face. That's funny. I can laugh about it now. Well, I love my wife.
Yeah. Hey.
By the way, our 24th wedding anniversary is this weekend, and I've got to get reservations to a restaurant. I'm trying to decide which one without going broke.
So let me ask
I
you
haven't
this.
figured it out.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you have anybody in your family, or did you know anybody? My mother used to do this, and it aggravated my father to no end. And now, keep in mind, these are two non-natives of Florida that by the time that I was a kid, they had been both living here 20-plus years, okay? So they
Okay.
know,
Should have been
you
able
would
to
think they
handle
know how to, you think they would know how to drive in Florida, right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah,
my mom was
especially
the
in that
one.
area.
My mom was the woman that not only would she turn the wipers on full blast, no matter how hard it was raining, the wipers were always on wide open.
Oh,
But she would turn the radio down, shut your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
There's no talking. I'm trying to concentrate. It's raining.
white knuckling. The
And
whole
my
way.
dad would be like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" It's just raining.
parents
It's not like she would
Right.
white knuckle it. She would white knuckle it. You shut up. The radio gets turned off. I mean, she would give you looks through the rearview mirror. And by the way, if you don't know what I mean by looks through the rearview mirror, you grew up with parents that let you get away with everything.
My dad had a Volvo, and it was rear wheel drive. So when
A
it would
tank.
rain, like
So
this,
it was an Abrams
Yeah.
tank with rear wheel drive.
yeah, it wasn't the wagon. It was just the 4-door.
Oh,
But
you didn't have the
during
family
this type of
truckster.
weather-
Okay.
No, we would go into empty parking lots, and he would just do donuts.
Yeah, see, my
was
dad,
that.
this is my dad. My dad was the guy that taught me the emergency brake slide when I was like
Absolutely,
14.
that was part
When
of
I
it.
was 14,
Sure.
my dad taught me the emergency brake slide in in the St. Patrick Catholic Church wet parking lot. He goes, "Watch this, son." Yeah, we spun around like 3 times.
And I remember one time a cop came by. My dad's like, "I'm teaching my son how to handle the rain."
Oh
And the
yeah.
cop's like, "That's a good lesson."
Good lesson. Good lesson.
And he stuck his head in there and he goes, "Just remember, turn into it."
Yeah,
And
turn.
I remember that to this day.
Well, you know,
Turned it,
I asked my dad about that, and when I was 8 years old, I asked my dad about turning into the direction of a skid.
Sure.
And you know where I got that from? As bad as it sounds, I got it from a convicted rapist.
all right. Well,
You-
congratulations.
Can I tell you
don't
who
know
the
many
Can I tell you who the
convicted
convicted rapist was?
No, I guess I have to hear it. Yes, go ahead.
Bill
I need
Cosby.
to know. That's what he is.
He's a convicted
yeah.
rapist, and I got it from his album. To this day was still one of the most influential albums on me that made me love comedy and made me chased a dream that I've chased for 20 plus years and still occasionally will go do stand up somewhere. His album called Why Is There Air? Where he was in the Temple sweatshirt, he was holding a volleyball in his hand, and he said he dated a girl that was a philosophy major, and she'd walk around going, why is there air? And he goes, I just thought that was a dumb question. I knew why there was air. There was air to blow up volleyballs and basketballs. And so he does this whole thing about he was in the middle of a skid. He was going to visit her, and he hits the ice, and he's in the middle of a skid, and he said he remembers the textbook saying, whenever in a skid, turn the wheel in the direction of the skid. And he thought, well, that's like saying if Muhammad Ali's throwing a left hook, lean into it. It won't hurt as much if you get hit quicker. And that stuck with me. It always made sense to me that even though it doesn't make sense to turn in the direction of a skid, that's what you should do because that's how to get out of it. And when I hit black ice in North Carolina one time, I'll tell you the greatest story ever. I'm going down the main drag through in between Boone and Blowing Rock in North Carolina, right by Tweetsy Railroad, which is a carbon copy of Six Gun Territory, okay? And this woman in a Grand Am hits some black ice, and she spins like 4 times right in front of me. Unnerved me so bad, I pull over in the parking lot. My heart's beating 90 miles a minute. She just stops her skid, puts her car in park, cranks it up, drives off like it's no big deal. I am literally having a massive coronary. So 2 days later, I'm going out on the Blue Ridge Parkway in my Nissan hardbody, 1997 hardbody Nissan. The last year they made them, the year before the Frontier. So I'm going out and there's a bicyclist.
That was front wheel drive, right? No,
it was rear wheel. So there's a bicyclist on the parkway as well. And so I go around him. I move over to pass him. And when I do, I hit black ice. And the Nissan hardbody starts to spin. And now if you know the Blue Ridge Parkway, you got the mountain on one side and you got air on the other side if you go off the road. That's it.
Right.
It's mountain to one side, air to the other side. So I'm spinning, and I never got scared. I never understood how that woman didn't get scared. I was like, how did she not get scared when she was in the middle of a spin? 2 days later, I'm in the middle of this spin. Now I understand why she didn't get scared, because I'm doing everything I can, turning in the direction of the spin, working this stick shift because of the 5-speed. I'm doing everything I can to stop this spin so I don't have time to be scared. I stop the spin. The truck comes to a stop. My foot comes off the clutch, so it stops the truck. I crank the truck up, and I drive off. Not a bit of problem with that. I look back at my rearview mirror, and just like me 2 days before, the bicyclist is laid on the side of the road. Looks like he just had a heart attack.
Hey, and remember, don't touch the brakes. Let it
ride. Do not touch the brakes.
Touch the brakes.
Clutching gas.
Yeah, if you have a clutch. If not, just ease off. You gotta slow down, not stop.
You cannot
These are the
stop.
life lessons that my father taught me. My mama would have never been able to teach me that. That would have just never happened.
No.
I wouldn't have. If my mom had to teach me how to drive, I'd still be walking.
Oh yeah, that's a dad move. Hey Gaylor, we got to take a break. We'll come back right after this. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. WOCA, The Source.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
You're getting ready to move and you work hard. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. You need pros. Trained professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. They care about your things as much as you do, and they do it fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, 352-289-0666. Visit twomeninatruck.com and get moving.
Two Men in a Truck. Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named, the man, the myth, the only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Thursday, Galen Unall from Life South joins us thanks to the good folks at Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Galen, people wonder why we have these kind of conversations about driving in the rain and how you learn the different ways to drive. It's because we're doing public safety announcements for the community. That's why.
Right.
That's why we do. We offer up our knowledge so you don't do dumb things.
Right, and it's a tremendous amount of show prep for us to just be able to. You think we just made that all up on the fly? No. Hours and hours.
Hours.
Right.
By the way, have no idea how many emails exchanged back and forth with us trying to get exactly where we're going to go with this, because you're usually wrong, I'm always right, and then by the time we get to show, you've tried to convince me erroneously that I'm wrong and you're right. So people don't know what goes into the daily back and forth between you and I.
Yeah, at some point, we're going to talk about what we're actually, before when I call you, be like, hey, this is going on. We very, very rarely get to that. So, yeah, who the heck knew we were going to talk about sliding, turning into it? And by the way, that's incredible advice. Don't turn on your flashers, turn into the slide. Those are life-changing lessons.
Okay.
We just saved lives.
We did.
We saved lives.
That's what I'm saying. We're lifesavers.
We're probably going to have some kind of honorary ceremony later this year.
By the way,
to recognize our contribution.
I already had that ceremony at 2:30 in the morning in my backyard on while I was taking Oxycontin. Just ask my fiance.
Hey-o.
I was literally at 2:30 in the morning on 3 Oxycontin after my surgery, the day after my surgery, which is why I have not taken another one since then. I was in my backyard. They had declared it Tom Schmitz Day, and the mayor was there reading a proclamation.
Boy, that's a bad day for a lot of people. There's a lot of. How big was the heckler gallery?
Oh, it was large and distinguished, by the way. And
I took Oxycontin after my knee surgery.
Yep.
And I took it for 2 days, and I remember the third day, and I looked at my wife and said, I can't take it again.
Yeah.
Because it makes you feel it's in a very, very addictive drug.
Once I stopped the hallucinations, I looked at my fiance and go, I'm not ever taking that again. Ever.
You almost want it, right? So I understood, like, the Rush Limbaugh guy. I'm like, man, I only took it for 2 days. And in the back of your mind, you're like, you want this.
It reminded me of the times in college where, and I won't give the farmer's name in case he still allows kids to do it. We had this one farm in Statesboro, Georgia, where the farmer's like, sure, go pick whatever you want. On a cow farm. And we would go pick all the mushrooms we could pick.
Mushrooms?
Well, that's what it reminded me of, and I'm like, I'm 54, not 19. I don't need to hallucinate like this again. And here's the thing. I was in my backyard. Come in, I tell my fiance, you're missing the whole party. She goes, it's 2:30 in the morning, moron. Nobody's in the backyard. You're hallucinating. You see it all day. I go, no, it's not. I'm even eating ice cream from the celebration. And I'm got my hand up like I'm holding a bowl, no spoon in my hand, and she says I'm actually eating like I'm eating ice cream to prove to her that there was a party going on in the backyard. And here's the bad thing about all of this. As I'm hallucinating, thinking I'm working in concert with the FBI to stop a friend of mine from his heroin addiction. The mayor's in my backyard giving me a proclamation. I'm calling people on the phone using the remote control from the television. None of it. This is how nice my fiance is. This is why she's a perfect woman, and this is why she's going to be a great wife. None of it was videotaped.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I would have had like
You
4. If she'd have been
watched
doing it,
A Beautiful Mind or something.
if she'd have been doing it, if she'd have been hallucinating like that, I'd have had 3 different camera angles. I'd have had 2 setups of microphones, so I didn't miss. So I got what she was saying plus what everybody else, what I was saying, laughing, the dogs. It would have been like a documentary for me. Not my beautiful fiance.
And
She didn't film anything.
Today, now you'd be a TikTok star.
Oh, 100%.
Talking about the abuse of drugs and how they're bad for you.
100% I'd be a TikTok star. But my beautiful fiance,
For saving lives.
my beautiful fiance, not a bit of video. She's a much better person than me. I'd have had a 3-camera setup. I'd have had her with a lavalier mic on. I'd have had some boom mics. It'd have been the whole setup.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
And you'd have done the same to your wife.
No, hell no. Hell no. She'd have killed me. No.
Oh,
No.
I'm not saying
Look,
Susan wouldn't have killed me afterwards, but I'd have still done it.
I had somebody text me after the show yesterday, and one of my sayings, and I say this all the time: death is always on the table.
Always.
And my buddy, he texted me, he goes, "You're a little closer to death today." And I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I heard the show. Hopefully your wife didn't." So he goes, and I'm like, "Oh, jeez," because I don't always remember.
What did we say yesterday that brought you closer to death?
About all of the these women that just kill men haphazardly, and the leg of lamb.
Oh yeah,
that was the murder weapon, and the cops say, yeah, guys. I say, after that episode, you're a little closer.
Look,
Great.
if he thought that us giving our wives and fiancés pointers about leg of lamb brought us closer to death, he has no understanding of the relationship between males and females, okay? We are closer to death because we wake up and we do things that may aggravate them on a daily basis.
That's true.
Okay?
That's right.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's come on.
Yeah, I've got to figure out I'm hoping I can make dinner reservations. I hope people don't go out.
So we got about
I will be dead Monday.
We got about a minute left before the break. So I'm going to give you this, and it's a loaded question, and I don't give you much time to think about it or answer it. Who's the better driver, Galen, you or your wife?
Oh, me? That's a no-brainer. That's a documented.
Thank you, 100%.
I have evidence to back it up. I have all kinds of repair bills.
Thank you.
My wife's car was at the BMW for 6 weeks getting fixed not too long ago. So, yes, documented.
I always point out
when
my fiance goes, why do you always drive? I go, how many wrecks have I been in? How many wrecks have you been in?
That's different. That's different. My wife will not ride in the car with me unless she's driving because she's a control freak.
Oh, no.
She hates it when I drive.
Well, by the way, the only reason I drive instead of Susan is I'm a control freak. I hate it when anybody else drives.
Yeah,
I'll be honest about that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
And I only have a work car. I don't have like a personal car, so when we're driving anywhere, she won't let me drive her car.
Galen Unoff from Life South. We'll be right back after this short timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
In news on the Southeast AgNet, I'm Clint Thompson and for Randall Wiseman. The USDA released its 2020 final all-cotton production report on Wednesday. Becky Summer with the National Agricultural Statistics Service in Washington, D.C. has the final numbers.
The 2020 final all-cotton production was estimated at 14.6 million 480-pound bales, 27% lower than the 2019 crop. The United States yield for all cotton is estimated at 847 pounds per acre, up 16 pounds from the previous year. Upland cotton production is estimated at 14.1 million 480-pound bales, down 27% from the 2019 crop. The United States yields for upland cotton is estimated at 837 pounds per acre, up 16 pounds from 2019. Final production in Georgia totaled 2.18 million bales, down 20% from the previous season. In Alabama, production totaled 734,000 bales, a decrease of 29% from 2019. In Florida, 103,000 bales were produced, down 50% from the previous year. In summary, the final 2020 all cotton production estimate for the United States was 14.6 million bales, down 27% from the 2019 crop.
Are you looking for something that's unusual or hard to find? You might just find it at HiBid.com. It's the online auction site for, well, just about anything. HiBid.com has estate sales, closeouts, liquidations, and even government-seized vehicle auctions. It's easy to bid on office furniture, antiques, sports memorabilia, restaurant equipment, motorboats, and even arcade games. You can search for items by name or simply see where the next page takes you. Visit HiBid.com, that's HIBID.com, and find what you're looking for today.
For more information, see SoutheastAgNet.com. For Southeast AgNet, I'm Clint Thompson.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Thursday, clouds and sun with a thunderstorm in spots, high 81 to 87. Partly cloudy Thursday night, low 66 to 70. Friday, partly sunny, high 82 to 86. Saturday, sunshine and clouds, high 82 to 85. And for Sunday, sunny with a high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Andy Robb.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner, and Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner, and Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. Galen Unall from Life South, brought to you by Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Centers, on the line with us. Galen, when Joe says, you know, bringing stories to you that are important to the Ocala community, the dangers of driving in the rain in Ocala, that's a story, that's a conversation that is important to the people of Ocala.
Well, if not, Tom, you know what? It is now.
Well,
it is now.
100%. Hey, Forbes magazine announced the top 5 sports stars worldwide in 2020. Number 5 on the list, LeBron, I think I know politics, James. He came in at $96.5 million with endorsements and salary. Okay. Number 4 on the list. This kind of surprised me. Dak Prescott. He earned $107 million last year, and what they're saying is through his endorsements plus the first year of his $160 million contract extension, he's going to make $107.5 million last year.
Not bad.
Number 3 on the list.
It's not bad. It's not somebody who's only the 11th or 12th best quarterback in the NFL.
Hey,
he plays for the team with a star on his helmet, therefore he's important.
it's good if you can get it, I promise you. Cristiano Ronaldo, number 3 on the list at $120 million.
Just think how much he would have made if there weren't all those rape allegations.
Well, I know.
Sponsorship.
Number 2 on the list, a guy who Ronaldo will tell you he's better than, but is literally the best soccer player on the face of the earth, in my opinion. Lionel Messi comes in at $130 million. $130 million. Honorable mentions, Roger Federer and Tiger Woods, the only other athletes who have earned at least $70 million during the year, and that's through mostly endorsements. But guess who's number 1 on the list? He made
Who's number 1 on the list?
He made $180 million over the last 12 months. He's the highest paid athlete in the world when you consider his salary, the money he makes from his job, plus his endorsements. Who do you think it is?
Who is it? I have a gut feeling.
Well, go ahead. Give me your gut feeling.
So.
Give me your gut feeling.
No, my gut's wrong.
No,
I know they call him the $100 million man, but I think I'm wrong.
Your
it's
gut.
not Lewis Hamilton.
It is not Lewis Hamilton. No, it is not.
No.
It is the owner, and the reason is he just sold a company for $600 million. He got the first installment of that last year when he sold his proper number 12 whiskey. It is the guy who sold his proper number 12 whiskey to Proximo Spirits. Conor McGregor, the highest paid athlete in the world last year. That surprised me. If you'd have asked me, if you'd have gave me 100 chances, I'd have never come up with Conor McGregor as the highest paid athlete.
Yeah.
Through money and endorsements.
Me either. That'll be a trivia question next month.
He got $22 million just for fighting Dustin Poirier in January.
Yeah. Well, because he's now big enough, he gets a piece of the pay-per-view, and that pay-per-view is massive. So just think about how much Dana White is making. Think about that, because he's having one of those every month.
Right.
Plus he gets the game.
Well, remember,
what I mean?
Dana White sold the company. Now he's just the president. He no longer owns the company.
No, but he gets a revenue share.
Oh, of course he does.
He's still he gets a revenue share, and so he's got the bank account and the revenue share.
But most of Conor McGregor's money, $150 million and $180, came from the result of the sale of number 12 whiskey. Have you ever had number 12 whiskey?
No, is it that good?
It's really, really.
Is it a Scotch?
No, it's a whiskey. It's a whiskey.
All right.
And it's proper number 12, and it's really good.
All right.
And
I'm
I
an
look,
urban guy,
I'm
more
not
than a whiskey
I'm not a Conor McGregor guy. I think he's, every time he gets in the octagon, I'm hoping somebody just knock his head off. I'm that guy.
But he's so compelling.
Oh, he is.
You got to watch him.
Oh, he's must-watch TV.
Compelling.
He's must-watch TV.
Yeah.
Look, I don't like Bryce Harper.
Athlete, that's all you want.
I don't like Bryce Harper, but I would be okay with Major League Baseball, the MLB channel, putting every at bat of Bryce Harper on TV, because he's either gonna get a hit, he's either gonna hit a home run and piss somebody off, he's either gonna strike out and blame the umpire. There's some kind of catastrophic event that's gonna happen every time he's in the batter's box. And I know this to be true because I watch Facebook videos, and they're all about him being a whiny crybaby and cussing out umpires.
Yeah, that's true. I just don't find him that compelling. I don't even think he's a top. I may name 20 players I'd rather watch.
No, I don't watch him because I think he's one of the best baseball. I watch him because I know a train wreck is inevitable.
I get it, but I don't. You know what? This is weird. You know me, and you know I like a good, compelling train wreck.
You do.
I don't watch baseball for the train wreck.
No, I don't either, but I watch Bryce Harper for the impending train wreck.
So, yeah, but I know, but I would that's not what I want when I watch baseball. I want steady. I want consistent. I want time to kind of go by.
You want Freddie Freeman. You want Freddie Freeman.
I do. I could see Freddie. I would rank Freddie Freeman above that. You know why? Because Freddie Freeman brings joy to the game. Mookie Betts brings joy to the game. Even oh my gosh, not Tatis.
Yeah.
And
Fernando
San Diego.
Tatis Jr.
He brings joy to the game, and I enjoy that. So Bryce Harper, when I watch him, I just like, why are you bothered? Because it's 162 games.
Be honest, though.
You've got to have some fun.
Be honest, though. Wouldn't you really like to see just one time when Bryce Harper loses his mind because he gets struck out on a pitch that he thinks wasn't a strike, that it would be Angel Hernandez and he just punch Angel right in the face?
No, that's not what I want in baseball.
God,
I understand your view.
Why can't I want to punch Angel? I want to punch Angel. Every time I see a video, I just want to punch through the screen.
I know.
Is he the worst baseball? Is he the worst baseball umpire? Period.
No.
Don't go with Joe West now. Joe West retired. You can't pick on fat guys anymore.
Well, Joe West would probably sue me if I did.
He would. He would. Angel Hernandez is
I have
bad.
to think about it. Angel Hernandez is bad.
CB Buckner's bad.
That Buckner is terrible. That's a good question. I wanted to say no, but I can't argue. I wanted to have a good argument over that, but I'm like, no. Everybody, I'm like, no, Angel Hernandez. And Angel Hernandez has been doing it so long, he still gets in the World Series.
Yeah, he's 22 years as a major league umpire.
He will be umping the right field foul line and blow something. So yeah, you're right.
I watched.
He'll be 300 feet from home plate and still becoming the center of attention.
Well, he'll be 300 feet from home plate and override the home plate umpire on a bang play at the plate. Okay.
I know.
Angel.
He goes, well, look, this is what I saw, gentlemen. And he'll sprint in. Right? He'll sprint in and go, no, hey, we need to talk about this. This is what I saw.
Angel Hernandez is the equivalent of the back judge that's 30 yards from the play and will call holding on an offensive lineman.
Yeah. I got you.
Is there nothing worse in football? And it happens in high school football, which you do, you broadcast, you call the games. I did it for a long time, and it happens there more than to me in any other level of football. That back judge will throw a flag 20 yards.
Well, and it's 20 yards, and it's 45 yards away from the football.
100%. 100%.
That's where I lose my mind. In the high school, in today's day and age, and I talk about this a lot, but today's day and age, a high school official should be watching video just like the players do. I've talked about this to coaches, and I'm like, hey, do you ever share your game film with a ref? He goes, man, if a ref asked me to it, I'd hand deliver it to their house. Because they make the same bad calls week after week. And, it costs some of these kids scholarships. And,
yes.
I've seen so many bad calls that have kicked, Vanguard for example, out of the playoffs. Last 2 years ago when they were down at Orlando Jones, there were some calls, and I'm like, that's the difference from something like Michael Randall getting a full ride by being able to play in the state championship game and not.
Now,
and that kind of thing frustrates me.
I know you don't know this guy I'm about to mention, Tendai Stevens. But Tendai Stevens went to college with me at Georgia Southern. Tendai Stevens got a degree in PE, and Tendai, we played softball together and everything. Tendai was a track guy, but Tendai was that prototypical, you knew he was going to be a high school coach. You know that guy that there's, when he's majored in PE, and that guy's going to be wearing coaching shorts. He's going to be wearing coaching shorts and high socks the rest of his life, okay?
Tendai, 2-button with the flexible waistband.
Exactly. Tendai Stevens was that guy. But in college, he coached youth football, the Pop Warner football. And he coached 13 and 14-year-olds. My only foray into officiating ever is 1 year I got talked into by the Statesboro Recreation Department to referee football. And they made me a white hat right away because of my knowledge of the game, right?
Well, you knew the rules more than most of them.
So I'm a white hat, and it's in the county championship game, Portal, Georgia, which is a town in Bullitt County, and Brooklet, Georgia, are playing. They're both towns in state in Bullitt County. They're playing the finals at Portal High School, and I mean there probably is 4,000 people at this Pop Warner game, right? Because football, as you know, in Georgia is a religion. So there's probably 4,000 people. Portal is the 4-time defending county champ. They got the best program. Tendai is the head coach. He played with him. He's from Portal. He knows the history and everything. So Portal's losing 7-6. The last play of the game, Portal pitches the ball wide. Their scat back catches it at the 11-yard line, their own 11-yard line, races 89 yards for the winning touchdown. Not so fast, my friends. Because as he turns the corner, the linebacker has an angle on him, and the wide receiver tackles the linebacker. It's an easy call for me. Flag, holding, I killed the touchdown. Tendai loses his mind. He's out there, Tom, and he's screaming at me. And this is when I realized refereeing was not for me, because I got this call right. And Tendai, as it's coming, back then we had the little camcorders. There were no phones or anything taking thing. Remember, you had the camcorder you would hold with the tape in it and everything, and then you'd have to rewind it to watch it on the little screen. One of Tendai's parents come over as Tendai's losing his mind. He goes, Coach, he got the call right, and he shows him on the video. And Tendai calms down. But if it hadn't have been for that ability of that guy to show him on the video, I may have ended up in a fight with one of my good friends over what he thought was a missed call in refereeing. So while referees have a tough job to do, they're all bad at it. Let's just go ahead and say that.
I was going to say, where's this story going? Now you're apologizing for the first time?
No. That was. I apologize that I actually put a striped shirt on. That was my mistake. I got talked into it for $30 a game. $30 a game.
I always caveat this. I'm a firm believer you're going to do something, do it well, and that's all. That's all. Just do it well.
That's all I ask.
And I've never asked an official to be perfect. I asked them to be consistent and to make the calls you need to make. You don't have to make them all, especially in high school. Don't make them all. Just make the ones you need to. Let the game play.
If you're gonna call that strike three, if you're gonna call that 3 inch, if you're gonna call that strike that's 3 inches low out of the strike zone, if you're gonna call that, I'm okay with that. Just call it from the first inning to the final inning. That's all I'm asking.
And the kids will adjust.
Yeah, kids adjust.
When you start moving those things around, or it's pass interference now. It's not pass interference in the third quarter. That drives me nuts. So just be consistent. Just be consistent.
So I came across this. We're switching gears now. I came across this, and I thought this would be a good thing to talk to Galen about. It says Google. Now, how often do you use Google? You use it daily, at least 3, 4, 5 times a day?
You know how many arguments I'm in over stuff?
Yeah. So Google is your friend then, is what you're saying.
Absolutely.
So Google released what the top 5 questions people have searched most for in the 21st century. And I got to thinking, all the stuff that's happened in the 20 years and 5 months, 5.5 months of the 21st century, all the things that have happened. And I'm thinking, well, you got 9/11, so people research that, blah, blah. We're a dumb race of people. We're a dumb race of people, the human race, okay? I'm not talking about color or ethnicity. I mean the entire human race, because the entire human race uses Google, and we're a bunch of morons. Do you know what the number one – well, let me just go through number 5. You know what the number 5 most requested Google search is in the 21st century?
No.
How many ounces in a cup?
Yeah, that's it. I've probably done that.
There's 8 ounces in a cup. How the hell do people not know that?
And sometimes you're just cooking and you can't remember anything.
Okay. Ready for number 4? Where am I? How the hell do you not know where you are? And you got to Google where you are. Number 3.
Yeah, okay.
Number 3.
All right.
Number 3, a bunch of horned up little 12-year-old boys is what this is. How do I kiss a girl?
Well, that's probably good advice. You're telling me you would have never Googled that.
Oh, 100% I would have Googled it. There'd have been a lot less slobber on pillows when I was a kid if I'd have been able to Google that.
Well, so that's probably a good thing.
No, I understand that. But it surprised me that it was on the list. Now, number 2, I get this. I get this 100% because it's one of those things, once you master it, you're like, ha-ha, and you're so proud of yourself. But if you don't know how to do it, it can be taxing. Now, because I went to parochial school all my life, I learned to do this at a very early age. Number 2 on the list of all things searched in the 21st century with the most searches, how to tie a tie.
Well, and there's like, 100.
But is that a bow tie, or is that the half Windsor? Is that the full Windsor? What are you talking about here?
By the way, I'm a full Windsor knot guy.
Me too.
Me too. 2 wraps over, 1 wrap over the top, and then bring it.
You know why I'm a full Windsor guy?
Square knot.
You're the same. You're a full Windsor guy for the same reason I am. You know why? Because you can.
Oh, absolutely.
You look down with disdain at your colleagues. You walk in, half Windsor, huh? Couldn't get it. I understand. You just didn't have. You don't have the capabilities. I get it. I got the capabilities.
Looks better. You can squeeze it and get the form you want.
It's not crooked. A half Windsor's crooked.
Correcto. Thank you.
The number
1 in a row for Tom today.
The number 1 searched item in the 21st century.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for this? And I do it every morning, but I do it with Alexa. And she's not Google, but I do it every morning. So I kind of understand this, but I kind of don't. No. When I get out of the shower every morning, because I'm up against it, I go, "Hey Alexa, what time is it?" The number 1 search thing in Google in the 21st century, what time is it? We're a bunch of dumb people if that's the top 5 things we're searching. Let's do it. How many ounces in a cup? Where am I? How to kiss? How to tie a tie? And what time is it? We're very simple people as a human race.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I bet from this list, it looks like it's only men that use Google.
Well,
where am I? How to kiss and how to tie a tie.
Circle, right? Women are much more likely to ask, like if you called me and you said, "Galen, I don't know how to tie a tie," I would ridicule you for a good 6 to 7 minutes.
Oh, easy.
Then help you, and then rip you probably every day that I ever saw you.
And remind you in front of people.
How's that tying going?
Remind you in front of people. I would go to the event you were going to and say, that tie's tied like that because I taught him.
That's right.
I would tell everybody.
The first thing I would say is, it's a good-looking tie. Wow. Who taught you how to tie that?
Oh yeah, that's right. I did.
Because you're a moron. Or I would say, because you don't have a father. I would say something like that.
No, that's
because I'm not a nice person all the
time. That's just mean. Accurate, but mean.
And you would laugh, and everybody around us were like, "Yeah, Tom doesn't have a father. He doesn't have no ice cream."
I got no ice cream. You ain't got no. You know why? Because your father's an alcoholic.
That's right. Can't afford. See, our whole world revolves around 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Want to lick? Psych.
Psych. Yeah, I mean, and therefore we would have. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, man, that was a good time.
And when I first saw that, when Eddie Murphy did that whole thing about the ice cream, everything about that is 100% accurate, all the way to where he drops his ice cream and he picks it up, goes, "So ain't nothing but some chocolate sprinkles." Every adult knows that 6-year-old kid that would have done that with ice cream.
You're darn right. In the barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Roll Charlie around. He'll be all right. Roll Charlie around. He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. Roll him. I mean, there's so many.
You always had that one uncle. You had that one uncle that would come out with like the crude oil and the 5-gallon gas can. I'm gonna start this fire. I'm gonna get it going. I'm gonna start the fire. I'm gonna get it going. We all had that uncle.
So much lighter fluid, and you're like, oh gosh.
Oh.
And your mother would distinctly grab your shoulder and you wanted to get as close as you possibly could, because that dude was fun to be around.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one who drove that Trans Am that was so loud. You thought it was cool, but it was actually because he couldn't afford to fix a muffler.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. He had the bucket seats with the rips in them because he couldn't afford. But you thought that was because you thought the rips were like cool because it was in a Trans Am. Oh,
of course. And it was it wasn't the I-Rock version. It was like the B-Rock version.
Oh yeah, it was the 4-cylinder. It was the 4-cylinder Camaro that you thought was cool.
Absolutely.
And the only reason it made that pop 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 was because the muffler was gone. You're right, entirely correct.
Correct.
Right.
I
By the way.
Yeah, I had that on.
By the way, I love you, Uncle Jeff. Just in case my Uncle Jeff is listening, I love you, Uncle Jeff, because we're talking about you.
He would my mom's youngest brother. He would.
That was my mom's youngest brother, my Uncle Jeff. He's the one that did it.
He would get drunk and threaten to cut my throat. and I would stay at his house, and I remember this, and I would like he lived at the end of the street of my grandma in North Carolina on this dirt road, and he was all the time drunk, but during the day he was just great until about 10:30, and then he had this pocket knife. And he goes, come over here. And he put that knife on him. I'm like, he's going to kill me sometime. But he was fine. And then woke up in the morning, and then the sun was out. He was fine. Just at night, you locked the door.
My Uncle Jeff was the guy. My Uncle Jeff was the guy who was the nicest guy. He was always, and he still is. He's still alive. He lives in Jacksonville. He was the happy-go-lucky guy. He was in good spirits and all until he got tanked. And then whatever happened to him that he never talked about, but whatever happened to him between 1967 and 1969 when he was in the Army or the Air Force, one of them, I forget which one it was, and he was in that Pacific region called Vietnam. And something would happen to him when he got drunk about 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night. I don't know if he thought I was Charlie or Viet Cong. I don't know what it was. But then Uncle Jeff was no fun to be around, so he got away from him.
No, my uncle's name was Junior. He
of course
died.
It was.
But
was his last name Soprano?
Yeah. No, it was Locklear.
Oh, Junior Soprano, the guy that thought he was in charge.
Absolutely. But Vietnam messed him up too.
Yeah, Vietnam messed my Uncle Jeff up. And by the way, I have a love-hate relationship with my Uncle Jeff because my dad had a '54 Chevrolet that he allowed my uncle to take with him under the guise that bring it back because that's going to be the boy's car when he gets 16. That '54 Chevrolet was left next to a house in Oklahoma. I'm still a little pissed about that. I'm going to be honest with you. Be honest. I'm going to be, got to be honest. Got to be honest. Hey, Galen.
You've talked about that before.
Dude, it's like that sand spur that when you pull the sand spur out, you leave a little bit still in your foot and can't get it. That's where that is for me.
That's painful.
Galen, where's the Bloodmobile today?
Yeah, hey, today we're actually out all the way out on 200 at the Walmart out there. So please come by and see this. As always, we're right there on the boulevard, 1607 East Silver Springs Boulevard, lifesouth.org.
Galen,
Tom,
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, y'all.
We'll be right back after this timeout on Ocala Talks.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM.